Okay, and here we have our generation, and it's a pretty simple shot, but we have some motion now in all of our little graphs and visuals on our displays for our navigator, which is pretty cool. And we got this zooming shot as well. So again, you can kind of play with this now as an asset to build off of, or you can build with keyframes, things like that. You can start doing some camera control to mess with the shots or the motion a little bit. So lots of options to kind of build off this, but you get an idea of what the tool is capable of. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the AI Marketing Navigator. This is your daily compass in the ever-evolving world of AI marketing. Okay, Navigators, we are back with part 6 of our AI Decoded series, strictly for beginners or AI procrastinators. Yesterday, we talked about the main players in the AI image generation space, and today we're going to talk about the players in the AI video generation space. I have 3 companies that I want to introduce to you today, and again, we're going to keep it relatively simple and try not to dive too deep or overwhelm you with any of these tools. We'll just give as comprehensive of an overview of each one as we can to serve kind of as an introduction for you. To serve kind of as an introduction for you. So today we're going to be talking about Runway AI. We'll also be talking about Sora, which is OpenAI's video generation model. We just talked about DALL-E, their image generation model. They also have a video generation model that was actually only released recently called Sora. And then lastly, we will discuss Luma's Dream Machine. And in my opinion, these are 3 great examples of AI video generators in the space for you to check out as an introduction. So let's go ahead and get started with Runway. Again, Runway is a generative AI platform, and technically you can actually generate images and audio through Runway as well, but I think it serves probably best as a video generator and editor, and that is their primary product offering. Their latest model of their video generator is Gen 3 Alpha, and it supports high fidelity text to video, image to video, and video to video generation. And very similar to our image generators, you are going to either enter text prompts or upload source material into the tool, whose interface we will do a quick tour of at the end of our description here. You're going to adjust the parameters and the style preferences for your generation and then generate your results. So let's just do a quick rundown of all the features in Runway. We have the text to video generation tool, which allows you to create videos from your prompts and descriptions. You also have that image to video where it allows you to transform static images into videos. And then finally, you have video to video, which allows you to modify existing videos with those AI enhanced editing transformations or alterations. And on top of that, there's a bunch of very powerful and very useful editing features. Things like object movement tracking in videos, so motion tracking. You have green screen, which allows you to kind of mess with backgrounds and edit and remove and replace them. You can also generate slow motion footage, along with many other great features that I think make Runway probably my pick out of these tools if I had to choose one. And again, although the video generation is the core product, they also have image tools, so text to image to image, things like background removal and in-painting and image expansion, all those features we talked about on yesterday's episode. And so just a ton of AI editing features and tools in Runway. So we'll take a peek at some of those as well in just a moment. They also have some audio features, so you can convert text to vocal audio, so text to speech. You can create unique voice profiles. You can do things like lip sync and synchronize audio with any existing video files that you might have. You can clean up audio, remove silences. Again, all sorts of features that aid creators of any kind, whether you're creating video, images, or audio. So just another hugely creator-focused AI tool. So let's quickly touch on their pricing structure before we do a little tour of the tool. As has been the case with many of the tools that we have talked about so far, there is a free tier, which you've got to love. With this free tier, you get 125 one-time credits. So this is a credit-based generation. In that free tier, you're going to get basic video generation, HD video exports, up to 3 video projects, but pretty limited storage at 5 gigabytes, and also watermarked outputs. So to get rid of that Runway watermark, you're going to need to upgrade to a paid tier. The next tier up is their standard at $12 per month. You upgrade to monthly credits at that point. You get 625. And of course, you get the watermark removal, also 100 gigs of storage, and access to that Gen 3 Alpha, their most advanced AI model. Then finally, you have the Pro tier at $28 per month, and that is 2,250 monthly credits, all the standard features and the enhanced capabilities as well, and also the option to support up to 10 users. So if you are a team or an agency and you need to get multiple people into Runway, they also have some pretty cool collaborative features as well. Then you'll probably want the Pro tier. Okay, so let's take a little tour around the Runway tool. There are a ton of features again. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll just do my best here to very quickly cover as many as I can while we kind of demo the basic idea of how the tool works. So if you are watching along on video now, you should be seeing the Runway interface. And here on this left side, you can see tools. We have a generative session. This is going to be where you generate your video or audio or do a quick text to image. But I just want to take a quick tour of all these tools here. As you can see, they have 36 if you're watching along with us, but they have 36 total tools. And I'm not going to read through all of them, but the standard ones are like the generative session. But if you scroll down a little bit here, you can see things like 3D capture or frame interpolation, super slow motion. So we talked about the slow motion generation, in painting or depth extraction, cleaning of audio, motion tracking. And so again, 36 total different editing features here for your content. But I'm just going to hop into a generative session. And here you can see kind of the basic input and generation workflow for the tool. On the left-hand side, again, we have kind of our options for inputting. We have our text prompt. You can also do a camera control feature where you upload an image and you can kind of play with the camera view and the camera control on that image. They have Act 1, which is kind of their character generation or character inspiration feature. I think I'm going to do a separate episode on that in a few days here, so stay tuned for that one. And then also the ability to expand or change the aspect ratio of an existing video, which is really cool as well. But we're just going to do a text prompt here, and I'm going to take these prompts a little more seriously today than I did yesterday. I just whipped those up really quickly. Today, what I did is one of my favorite strategies, which is to take a prompt that I write manually and then feed it to Claude, ask it to optimize the prompt for whatever model or whatever use case I'm doing. In this case, I just asked it to optimize it for a video generator and include very professional video style details and shot types and camera types, all of these things. So don't be surprised if the prompt today is quite a bit more detailed than yesterday. And I'm going to include that prompt in the show notes if you want to read it. I'm not going to go ahead and waste your time and read it for you right now, but I'm going to paste it in here and we'll go ahead and generate our video. One moment. And of course, I just totally blanked and forgot to add our little image asset. I'm just going to use the image that we generated from DALL-E yesterday, and I think it will serve as a good source image for our video here. And also you can name your session, which I forgot to do. I'm just going to name it test session. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click generate now, and we will skip ahead. Okay, and here we have our generation, and it's a pretty simple shot, but we have some motion now in all of our little graphs and visuals on our displays for our navigator, which is pretty cool. And we got this zooming shot as well. So again, you can kind of play with this now as an asset to build off of, or you can build with keyframes, things like that. You can start doing some camera control to mess with the shots or the motion a little bit. So lots of options to kind of build off this, but you get an idea of what the tool is capable of. Okay, now we'll just move on to Sora. Sora is, again, OpenAI's advanced AI-powered video generation tool. Just like Runway, it can actually create videos from text, images, or existing video content. Currently, the platform can only generate videos up to 20 seconds long, which is pretty short in comparison to some of the competitors. But again, it is early days for Sora as it is still a very young tool. The length of the video that you can generate will also be affected by the subscription or pricing tier that you are on, which we will talk about shortly. So you're going to need to have a certain tier to get that full 20-second video export length. Because the tool is still so young, there aren't quite as many features or design-friendly functionalities available yet. However, we can cover what they have. They have a feature in the tool called Blend, which helps you kind of create smooth transitions between start and end frames. Just like the keyframes feature we mentioned in Runway, you can take two images and kind of blend them together. Additionally, you can create seamless video loops that are infinite. There's also a remix feature, which allows you to edit specific images within videos using text prompts. So that sounds very interesting. It sounds like you can use natural language to edit the objects and elements within videos, as I understand it. But probably the most interesting feature so far, I think, is the storyboard feature, which helps you organize multiple scenes and videos into a timeline to build a cohesive project or story. And this is very helpful considering the short export length for each individual video. As far as using the tool, you'll get a glimpse of it in a second, but it's very similar to the tools we've talked about so far. You're going to access it through your OpenAI account, either your Plus or Pro subscription, and there will be some agreements, signing in and accepting of policies that you'll need to do. And then using any reference materials, images or videos or a text prompt. Again, you can lay out what you want your video to look like. There are certain settings, again, for aspect ratio, resolution, length, among other things. Unfortunately, not nearly as many choices or kind of dials to experiment with as in Runway, but you're going to want to set your settings and go ahead and generate. In this case, it can take up to a minute for Sora to generate. You'll also be using a similar credit-based system here. As far as pricing goes for Sora, again, you're going to access it through one of the paid tiers that we talked about when we talked about ChatGPT the other day. They have either their Plus plan at $20 per month or the Pro plan at $200 per month. If you are a Plus user, you get access to Sora and you can do 50 generations each month. You only get a 720p resolution output. If you want 1080, you're going to need the Pro plan. And you'll also have watermarked video on the Plus plan as well. So you're going to need to go up to $200 per month to get rid of the watermark. So if you want to use your generations in your marketing assets or in your campaigns, you're going to need the Pro plan at $200 per month. At the Plus plan, you're only getting a 5-second video length for export, although we're going to test it in a second here. And I believe they do have a 10-second option now as well. At the Pro plan, that's when you get the 20-second export length, as well as no more watermarks, the 1080p resolution, and you go from 50 video generations per month up to 500 generations per month. However, on top of that, you do get unlimited slow generations if you're in the Pro plan. Okay, let's try the same prompt we ran in Runway. Now we'll go ahead and do it in Sora. We'll do a little comparison of these tools again, like we did yesterday with the image generators. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen now. If you're watching along, you should be seeing the Sora interface. They have a little gallery of featured stuff here. And I've gone ahead and entered our enhanced prompt once again. You can see the settings for the generation here at the bottom of our little input box. You can add an image or video for your reference. So I'm going to do the same image that we did for the other generation, our Dolly image from yesterday, just so our testing, our comparison is relatively controlled. And then you can mess with the aspect ratio, the resolution, the export length. And again, it looks like we do have an option for 10 seconds here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the 10-second one. Actually, 5 seconds just for time's sake. And then as well as the variations. So you can do 4 videos, 2 videos, or 1 video. I'm going to do 2, just do a little comparison again. And then here's that storyboard feature where we could stitch together several videos, as I understand it, into a timeline to make a little bit more of a cohesive, longer project anyway. Okay, so I've gone ahead and added our guiding asset here, our image from DALL-E, and I'm gonna go ahead and generate this and we'll jump ahead for you navigators out there. Okay, and here we have our 2 generations. First of all, just a lot more going on here. It's a little hectic and messy. I think the model might be working a little bit too hard, but definitely some more action going on in this one. And we also have a little bit more movement from our character here, which I also like. But I think I'm going to have to go with Runways again so far for today's test. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments as far as which model at the end of the episode you liked the best. Okay, and then finally we will talk about one more AI video generator that we've covered on the show before, and that is Luma's Dream Machine platform. And this one is going to allow you to create videos from text or image input. And these video lengths are 120 frames and are generated in 120 seconds, so it takes about 1 second per frame to generate. Luma also supports non-English prompts, so it's a bit more global friendly if you're a global marketing agency or you do global content creation or you have teams globally. How to use the tool is going to sound very familiar, but in my opinion, it's not quite as straightforward than the other 2 that we just talked about, Runway and Sora. It's a little bit confusing. You can use these assets called boards in Dream Machine to create your videos and generations, so we'll check that out in a second. As far as the prompting goes, you want to consider things like the type of camera you want to be taking the video with, what type of shot. Make sure to specify that. Specify what subject in the video is supposed to be the main one, what action that subject should be doing. These are all the things that I asked the Claude model to enhance my prompt with when I optimized my prompt. So define your camera movement, any lighting or mood settings that you want to apply, You know, if you want to be a cinematic style or dark or moody, whatever that might be, the more detail you can insert in this case, the better. It's not always the case with prompting. In fact, with the reasoning models, sometimes you want to kind of change your prompting strategy and not try and overload or overwhelm the model. Okay, before we take a look at the Dream Machine platform and generate a video in a board, let's briefly go through the pricing structure here. They also have a free plan, which is going to get you 30 generations per month at a very standard rate or processing priority. It should be noted that you don't get commercial use until the Plus plan, which is another couple tiers up from the free one. So you have the free plan, and then you have the light plan at $10 per month, $9.99 technically per month, and you still do not get commercial use here for that $10, but you get a higher priority as well as 3,200 credits. And then it's at the Plus plan at $29.99 per month that you get that watermark removal and the right to use your generations commercially. So again, just like those image generators yesterday, you're going to need to pay for certain tiers to enable commercial use, something to pay very close attention to. At the Plus plan, you're going to get 10,000 credits per month. And the next is the Unlimited plan at $94.99. That's going to get you 10,000 credits for their fast generations. And then similar to the other premium plans and these other generators, you get unlimited slower generations or relaxed generations, as they are called here. If you are a team or an agency or a business or an enterprise, you have the enterprise plan, right around $1,700 per year. And primarily that's going to get you enterprise terms. So check out the links in the show notes to get more details on that. But also there will be no training of their models on any of the data that you input or anything that's outputted for you. So all of your data stays private to you, which if you are an enterprise, especially one with a very strong brand that you don't really want people to be able to replicate with AI, then the ability and option to enable and disable training these AI models in the future is going to be huge, a huge want and a huge need for these brands. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dream Machine boards now and create our video one more time. If you're watching along, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And now you should be seeing our Luma Dream Machine window. And I'm going to go ahead and create our board now. And stand by while this gets generated, and we will skip ahead for you. Okay, so now on our board, we have these assets that have been generated, these images. And with each of these now, you have several options. You can modify them, you can make a video, you can use it as a reference image, or generate more like this, or download. So you have these options with each of these variations. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a video with one of these. Let's go ahead and do that. We selected our first frame by doing that, and we can add an end frame if we would like to do keyframes. Or we can just do a modify or use it as a reference. So I'm going to use this as a reference, and we will go ahead and use our same prompt that we use to kind of build our board here, and we will use that for our generation. So now I'm going to go ahead and use this board and these assets that we've created to create our video. And once again, I'll skip ahead for your benefit. And for an end frame for our video, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to download this other one where our navigator is looking in the other direction, and we'll see how it kind of splices these two together for our result. And then once more, I'm going to add our prompt describing the action through the scene, and I'll go ahead and generate. So stand by for me one more time. Okay, a little clarification there. So that was one method of creating a video in Luma, which was kind of the hard way that I just demoed for you by creating a board with some visual assets and then using those visual assets to assign keyframes. The easier way to very quickly generate something is just to ask simply to make a video instead of to generate some assets on that board. So that's what I did here for another example for you guys. And here we have our two generations. Pretty similar outputs to the keyframes still, as far as kind of a rotating shot, and we don't have as much visual elements still within Luma as the other two. So I still think I like Runway the best. Of course, let me know what you guys think. Which one did you like the best out of these three? Okay, there you have it for your introduction to three of the leading AI video generators. We talked about Runway, Sora, and Luma's Dream Machine. So that's going to do it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the show or found it useful in any way, please do me a favor and follow on Spotify or subscribe on your podcast platform of choice. A review on top of that would be even more appreciated and is so super helpful to the show. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you get notified each day when the episode drops. Until then, and as always, thanks for joining me, and remember to stay curious, stay consistent, and keep navigating forward. Bye.